What's up, guys? Eddie Beto here, aka Getroman, and this is Built by Getroman, a channel dedicated to guiding underserved code newbies on how to become a software engineer via motivational coding. So, in this video, I want to spend some time going over the structure of all future videos to come, specifically for my live coding show called Live Code with Getroman. I'm going to be covering the schedule, some of the goals, what to expect, and why I chose the Pomodoro Technique as the main time management structure for all of these videos. All that coming right up. Let's get it. All right, guys. So thank you for stopping by and taking some time out to watch this video. So let's get right into it. For those who have not seen my other video that I put out a couple weeks ago called Hello World, please take a look. Go to my YouTube channel. For those who have not seen it, it's called Built by Getroman, and I just kind of talk about some of the trials and tribulations and kind of the timeline I went through as far as my work experience to get to the point where I'm at today is trying to lock down and secure that first role as a software engineer. So please check that out. So yeah, we're gonna be covering some of the logistics of live code with Getroman. And the first thing I really want to just talk about is the schedule. Let's get that out the way. So I'm planning to go live and stream every Monday at 1 p.m. And I'm going to adhere to that schedule unless something big happens, unless I secure a role as a software engineer, which would be freaking awesome. So at that point, I may have to change the schedule, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for now, every Monday at 1 p.m., I will be live streaming some of the live coding challenges that I'll be going through in some of the projects, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So the length is going to be of the videos is going to be 4 Pomodoros, give or take, and I'll talk about what that is in a bit for those that don't know the Pomodoro technique, and for those that do, feel free to skip down the timeline. I will be adding timestamps for this video for your convenience so that you can scroll up through the video and get right to the point. So some of the goals, so let's jump right into the goals. I just want to kind of just outline what I'm hoping to gain from these videos, as well as what I'm hoping for you guys to gain at the same time while I live learn all this stuff while I'm doing this on live and struggling live and thinking out loud live and thinking and just trying to solve coding challenges. So with that, some of the goals I am looking to achieve is one, increased problem solving skills, right? So I'm hoping that I will be able to level up on my problem solving skills, right? So we're talking about puzzles in the context of coding challenges. I'm talking about critical thinking. I'm talking about computational thinking, and really just like diving deep into the problem itself and dissecting and then digesting the coding challenges or the problem sets or the project at hand, and really breaking them down into smaller chunks to then really go hard on those smaller chunks and really dissect it in a way where it can make more sense to me, and like just kind of like honestly bring it down, like dumb it down a little bit, bring it into layman's terms. That's like, what are they asking me? So those are the goals that I want to achieve when it comes to increasing problem solving skills, is to get better at understanding what are you asking me to do, right? So the second goal that I'm looking to achieve basically is um, level up my coding skills, right? So with the problem set solving part of it, is kind of like breaking down the problem, but like the implementation is the piece that I also want to increase, as far as being able to break down the problem and then translate that to some, like, there's a process as far as like coding, like the pseudocode, then the actual implementation of the syntax, the code, and the testing. So I want to get better at that. And so that's basically my second goal, right? Thirdly, increase my technical communication. I think one of the hardest things to do for me, and I'm very sure for a lot of you, is elevating your technical communication to a point where you feel very confident and you know, you kind of move imposter syndrome to the side and you go 150% with being able to and feel confident in speaking about the actual code in an intellectual way where technically it's sound and the person that's receiving the information is able to understand you both technically and just in layman's terms. Like so so part of my goal is to, yes, elevate technical communication, but also like how do I bring this to someone who's non-technical? That's the eyes and lens that I always like to bring it to when I speak about code. Whether in the meeting, whether it's talking to students, whether it's talking to my wife or kids. My son is 7 years old. He's gonna be turned 8. So I need to like I use him as my practice, as my tool of like, hey Eli, let's like talk about this and let me try to make him understand it. So that's the goal I want to achieve. Elevate my technical communication. How do I bring analogies to the table to explain things? How do I um, get really technical with explanations without like losing you or diluting the technical part of it as well at the same time? So that's really challenging. So that's one of my goals. My next goal is really to build up confidence, build up my confidence in my specific situation is what, right now I'm interviewing to secure that role as a software engineer at multiple companies. I had one yesterday, I had a couple this week, I have a couple coming up, small, mid to large size companies, unsuccessful so far, but I want to be able to build confidence as I go through that process. So if you're going through that process as well right now, leave a comment below. Let me know what are you feeling at this very moment. If you are looking for work, or if you haven't looked for work yet, you're kind of like in that phase where I graduate from a boot camp, or I'm self-taught, I'm just kind of winging it. Um, Tell me how you're feeling as far as like what are some of the struggles you're experiencing? What some of the goals you're looking to achieve at your current phase? So for those who are just graduated boot camp, you're probably going through like, oh man, this is crazy. I'm going against a lot of other smart people. There's no way they're gonna hire me. And that's when the imposter syndrome kicks in. Like, let's talk about it. Write in the comments. Let me know what's bothering you, and then we can probably have another video about how we can face those challenges together. Because I'm also in a lot of different phases of my career right now, as far as like looking for a role as a software engineer. For those who are self-taught, who have gotten some experience, built some small projects, built some clones, and has built up a skill set, but has not tested the waters as far as the job search is concerned, has not been able to like really test your technical know-how in front of somebody else who appears to be smaller because they have the t-shirt or the hat or whatever the case is, and like you're in your own head, right? You're thinking too much about like, can I do this? So tell me about those experiences. Leave a comment below. What do you want to see? What do you want to talk about in the next future videos? And for those who actually like have experienced a couple years under their belt doing either like teaching, like myself, I spent some time as a lead technical instructor teaching beginner level programming and concepts and fundamentals. And I'm at a phase where I'm trying to like level up. I want to turn that knob a little bit higher and compete and learn from other individuals in the world of engineering, software engineering. So all that is happening right now, right? So while I'm looking for work, I'm going through different experiences. I'm getting rejected. I have some faith that I will get past certain phases, but that takes a toll on your confidence. So some of the goals I want to achieve here is this one specifically is to build up my confidence as I go through this process. That I'm building confidence so that I can take whatever experience I had in that one interview and get 1% better, get 2% better, 10% better for the next interview. And by doing that for me personally, is to do these live shows, these live coding shows, and build a confidence by going through these coding challenges and building projects. So that's definitely goal number 4. And basically, one of my last goals is to punch imposter syndrome in the face. I think that is one of the banes of someone's progress, is too much thinking in their head about whether I can do this or not. So with the confidence part, naturally, I think logically, next step is to get confident enough where I just punch imposter syndrome in the face. So that's what I want you guys to get to, at the whatever level you are at your career, is to get to a point to punch imposter syndrome in the face. Let's just knock that thing down and let's move on, and let's be confident, and let's be productive in getting and securing that role as a software engineer. If you are a software engineer already, whatever project you're facing at that very moment, if it's kicking your butt, because even seasoned software engineers go through it as well. It never ends. So let's ante up the confidence, and let's ante up the motivation, and yeah, you can do it. So punch imposter syndrome in the face. As far as like the fifth goal. So those are my 5 goals for live code with Getroman. So let me know what you think. If there's some goals that you would like to see and achieve, let me know what you think. As far as the structure is concerned, I mentioned that I will be using the Pomodoro technique as a time management framework that's gonna help keep me in line as far as time management for the videos. The the way I take my breaks and actually do focus work for the video. So let's dive into that as far as like the Pomodoro technique. So what is a Pomodoro technique? So for some of you that actually use it for your day-to-day workflow, then great, continue to work at it. Hopefully it's working for you. If it is, great. If it's not, also leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think. I'm really asking you guys to provide feedback as far as like some of the tools that you use, if it's this or something else, to leave it in the comments. So what is the Pomodoro technique? Basically is a time management framework that basically holds you accountable for productivity and for keeping distractions away, right? Like the phones. I don't have a phone with me because I'm using it to record, but let's imagine this is a phone. Like we don't want this. We don't want this while you're working. This is a distraction, right? We want to be able to like stay focused. So we need something to hold us accountable to do that, so that we don't get distracted. So the Pomodoro technique is perfect for that, and that's what I want to use for these videos, right? So how does it work? So the Pomodoro technique works in these steps. So first is basically choose a task, right? The first thing you want to do is, whether it's reading a book or getting some notes out the way, or have a checklist of things you want to do. In this context, we'll be diving into coding challenges. So I'll pick a coding challenge, anyone that's like at your level, and grab that task and focus on that task, and make sure that you have, and that's the one thing you want to do, right? Picking one task to do, get that one thing, and make sure you stick with it. Next thing is to focus, right? So focusing is not just like, let me look at this thing and then I focus, and not like pay attention to anything else around you. Well, yeah, like not paying attention, don't pay attention to things around you, but you need to take steps in order to get to that point. You just don't dive in and pretend like life is not gonna happen around you. So some of the things I like to do, right? So this is where I'm getting at. Some of the things I like to do is, first of all, I have kids and I have a wife, right? Kids are running around. We're at an age of coronavirus, and I have remote learning going on outside these doors right here. And the one thing I like to do is basically have a conversation with my kids and my wife as to, hey, this is what I'll be doing for the next X amount of time. Please respect the time, and it'll be highly appreciated if you could not distract me for this time, and basically work out a schedule with them, right? Also, turn off the phones. If you have any phones around you, turn them off. Put them on silent. If you have the flexibility to turn them off, then great, because I know if emergencies come through, then you got to deal with that. But if you have the opportunity to turn it off, great. Cell phones, notifications on your laptop, Apple Watches, any type of watch that you have, try to put them on silent. keep them on for the purpose of having a timer at best. But I have some resources that you can use. That's a website that's tailored for Pomodoro technique that you can use to time manage, for time management purpose. So yeah, focus. Try to like just block everything out. Talk to the people around you. Keep noise at a bare minimum, or have a headset on, and that's the whole point of focusing, is to basically have all distractions voided. All right. So step number three is to basically now take at once you focused and got everything out the way as far as distract any potential distractions that may come on. The next thing is to set a timer for 25 minutes, right? So the Pomodoro technique, the word Pomodoro means tomato, right? It's like tomato sauce or tomato. And it was invented by someone in the 70s or 60s or 80s, around there, that basically figured out, hey, I want a way to manage my time, but not necessarily look at it as actual time, but have like kind of like analogy, if you will, have an object that I can represent as time. And for some reason they use tomatoes, and each Pomodoro is worth 25 minutes, or it's up to you. Actually, you can increase the time or decrease the time. I like to stick to what is suggested for me, as far as the timing that the Pomodoro methodology suggests is around 25 minutes. And I guess there's some science behind that, as far as like how long the mind can think. But for this step, is after you focus, is to set your timer for 25 minutes. So I have some resources. Again, I'm gonna link in the description below, and let me know if that works for you. If you have some others, or it can be a simple timer on your phone or your watch, uh, if that's the device you're gonna use, or an actual like kitchen timer if you have that. Anything that's gonna keep track of time. Fire that up. Have that next to you. Set it for 25 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Get a feel for how long you think your mind is going to be able to do deep focusing. Deep focusing, no distractions. Focus on that one thing, not traversing through tabs, Twitter, Facebook, whatever website you're on. All right. So make sure you get a timer, set for 25 minutes, and get to work. Right. Focus on that work. Get it done. Put your nose to the ground and get it done. So that's kind of what I'm looking to do, as far as when it's time for me to code. Next is after the 25 minutes, take a 5 minute break. Take a 5 minute break. Collect yourself, get away from the screen, stretch. Basically, get the mind away from the content and materials you're looking at, and give your brain an opportunity to digest that, and move it from short-term memory to long-term memory, and let that compression happen during that break, so that you can have some time to process what exactly you're looking at. And also, it gives your body a time to stretch, right? Because we're in these chairs. I'm in this chair all day, and I can't stay in the chair, so I gotta stretch all the time, like right now. Like that helps. That gets the blood flowing. So take that 5 minute break. Okay, you're gonna need it. So you're in your 25 minute Pomodoro deep focus time. You take your 5 minute break. What happens next? So basically, you repeat the process, right? You reset the timer for another 25 minutes, and go through another Pomodoro session, and deep focus for those 25 minutes, right? So what happens is you start developing a pattern. You start developing some muscles in your brain to focus on the subject at hand. At first it's going to be difficult, but if you can try a couple of those Pomodoros, then over time you'll get better at your time management skills, and your skills to your aptitude to focus on that one thing. So this step basically is asking to like repeat that process, rinse and repeat. Set the 25 minute timer, go for a 5 minute break, and repeat that process over again. So how many times did you do that, right? Because we're not machines, we can't do that forever. So actually, after the fourth Pomodoro is actually, so how many times do you do it? I I go 4 times. I use 4 Pomodoros. I feel like for me personally, I've done this long enough as far as using this technique to figure out my sweet spot. And 4 Pomodoros is kind of my 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 sweet spot, right? So after the fourth one, or whatever your last Pomodoro session is, that's when you take the bigger break. So for me personally, after the fourth, I'm gonna take a 15-minute break. And that 15-minute break is where I really try to take time to digest what I just worked on and try to process it, and also stretch and take those breaks as well. Um, Once you're done with the fourth or whatever your last Pomodoro is, then basically you have the option to repeat the process or just stop and come back in a couple hours. But for the intent of this live coding series, this is going to be just roughly 4 Pomodoros. And if I have time and if I have the energy and mental capacity to push another one, then I'll do a bonus Pomodoro and we'll go for 5. So we'll see what happens there. So just to recap, um, the Pomodoro technique is the methodology that I'm going to be using as far as these live coding videos, live code with Getroman is concerned. And um, here are the steps, right? First, again, choose a task. We're going to focus on that task, get all distractions out of the way, set a timer for 25 minutes, get to work. After your 25 minutes up, take a 5-minute break, repeat the process, start the 25-minute timer again. Do that 4 times. If you have the energy and mental capacity to do it, go for a fifth one. Whatever your last Pomodoro is, um, take that longer break. That last Pomodoro, once you're finished, take the 15 to 20-minute break and really just chillax, right? Figure out what to do next, stretch, or recap what you went through as far as the content. So why am I doing this, right? I'm babbling away about pomodoros and tomatoes and sauces and stuff like that, but I think it's very important. It's something that I gain over time as far as like identifying some strategies that help me be productive, right? So why Pomodoro? Well, really for me, and I don't know for you guys, but procrastination is one of those things that I do a lot, and I wanted to get better at it, and I'm still struggling with it. So that's why I'm married to this technique. It's because I want to fight procrastination. So I want to fight procrastination. I don't know if any of you guys are going through it, but I am, and it kills productivity. It honestly kills productivity. So I'm choosing this technique, and I've chosen this technique to help me focus on 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 the one thing that I'm trying to do and not everything else, right? Secondly, basically, is the Pomodoro technique. Also, I use it to fight against interruptions. I'm not sure how many of you are parents that are watching this, but I'm a parent, as I mentioned, I have 2 kids, and distractions or interruptions are like 99% of my day. And it's just because life happens. So, using this technique, methodology, forces some questions to be answered as far as how I'm going to do this, how am I going to get into deep focus without interruptions. And it forces you to think about your environment, what's around you, your distractions, the goals you're trying to achieve, how much time do I have during the day, etc. So that's the second reason, and actually last reason why I chose this Pomodoro technique as a structure for the upcoming videos, to fight against procrastination and interruptions. So very sure you guys experience that at your workplace. So cool. So what's next? I'm doing live coding challenges. You heard me say this over and over again. Live coding challenges for the reasons because I'm actually in the interview process and I need to get better at them, and I'm hoping that you can get better at them with me. So I'll be using sites like Code Wars, I'll Go Expert, Leak Code and HackerRank as my 4 resources that I'm going to be jumping to and from for my show Live Code with Getroman. And in the next video, that my first live coding challenge video, I'll be using a problem set, a coding challenge called 2-number sum from Algo Expert. And actually, it's a website that I pay for. So hopefully I don't get in trouble, showing some of the resources. We'll see what happens. But I think it should be okay. So I'll be going through 2-number sum, and I'm hoping to solve the problem. Like I mentioned, there'll be some moments where it'll be awkward because I'm in thought and I'm trying to figure things out. So I'm excited for that. Actually, I think that's where like the learning happens. And yeah, so I'll be going to that coding challenge. And so yeah, do you feel overwhelmed? Right? I've spoken about the structure and how this is going to work in the first coding challenge, and I know sometimes you could feel overwhelmed, getting into coding and getting into coding challenges, but don't worry, we're going to work on this together. Just think about the goals at hand, and if you can remind yourself about the goals and what you're trying to achieve, then that imposter syndrome won't kick in, right? So you're trying to increase the problem solving skills, you're trying to level up your coding skills, you elevate your technical communication skills, build up that confidence, and kick imposter syndrome in the face, right? So if you can just keep those goals in your head as you go through this journey with me, and whatever challenges you face at the moment, just know that if you can set those goals and strive to achieve them, that every roadblock will be broken down, and you can get to that finish line. All right. So, guys, that's pretty much it. This is a short one. I just again wanted to cover some of the structure of the video and some of the goals that I look to achieve as far as this video, this next couple of coding challenges are concerned. So if you got some value out of this video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications for any upcoming videos. You should be able to find the next video somewhere up here. I'm not sure if it's this way or this way. I have to get better at that, but I'll be jumping right into the first coding challenge, and let me know what you think. So again, thank you for your time. My name is Eddie Beto, aka Getroman, and we're a channel built by Getroman. It's a channel dedicated to guiding underserved code newbies to become software engineers through motivational coding. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.